Hello, history enthusiasts. Today we are diving deep into the annals of history to unfold the story of the Black Plague, a pandemic that devastated Europe in the 14th century. This dreadfully infamous disease, often referred to as the Bubonic Plague, swept across the continent, leaving an indelible mark on civilization. We'll be journeying through the timeline of events from its eerie arrival to its grim aftermath. So brace yourselves, history buffs, as we time travel back to the year 1347. The year is 1347. The serene landscapes of Europe are about to be shaken by an unseen enemy. This enemy, a stealthy invader, arrived unannounced, possibly through trading ships returning from distant lands. The ships carried not just exotic goods, but also a silent killer, the Black Plague. As these vessels docked in port cities like Messina in Sicily, they unknowingly unleashed a devastating wave of death. Initially, the local populace and authorities were puzzled. The disease, characterized by swollen lymph nodes and high fever, was unlike anything they had ever seen. Doctors were baffled, their traditional remedies and practices failing to halt the relentless march of the plague. The authorities, in a state of confusion and denial, tried to maintain order. They encouraged the public to carry on with their daily lives, hoping that this mysterious illness would simply fade away. Little did they know this was just the beginning of an era of immense suffering. As days turned into weeks, the Black Plague spread like wildfire, leaving a trail of death and despair. The disease moved with an unforgiving pace. From its initial appearance in the ports of Sicily in 1347, it raced across the continent, reaching as far north as Scandinavia and as far east as Russia in less than 2 years. The spread was facilitated by the bustling trade routes of the time, turning them into pathways of pestilence. The symptoms of the plague were both gruesome and terrifying. Buboes, or swollen lymph nodes, would appear in the groin, armpit, or neck, sometimes growing as large as an apple. High fever, chills, and delirium often followed, with victims succumbing within a week of infection. The sheer speed and severity of the disease left communities paralyzed with fear and grief. The death toll was staggering. In some towns, up to 2/3 of the population perished. All told, it's estimated that between 25 and 50 million people died during the Black Plague. That's nearly 60% of Europe's entire population at the time. It was a scale of death that was almost unimaginable. But the impact of the plague wasn't just measured in lives lost. It also left an indelible mark on the social and economic fabric of Europe. With so many dead, labor became scarce, leading to a rise in wages for the survivors. The old feudal system, with its rigid hierarchy and labor obligations, began to crumble. At the same time, the church, which had been the ultimate authority, saw its influence wane as people questioned why it couldn't stop the plague. There was a shift in people's attitudes too. The specter of death led to an increased focus on the pleasures of the present, a movement that would eventually pave the way for the Renaissance. In just a year, the Black Plague had changed the face of Europe forever. By the end of 1348, the worst phase of the Black Plague was over, but the scars it left were deep and long-lasting. The plague, like an uninvited guest, eventually left, but not without taking a substantial toll on the population. It is estimated that between 1/3 and half of Europe's population perished during this time. The loss was so profound that it took more than a century for the population to recover to pre-plague levels. The aftermath of the plague was not just a story of death and destruction, it also led to significant changes in society and culture. The massive loss of life led to a labor shortage, which in turn led to increased wages for workers. The plague also acted as a catalyst for the decline of feudalism, as serfs left their lands in search of better opportunities. In the realm of culture and thought, the plague brought about a new awareness of mortality, which was reflected in the art and literature of the time. This period saw the rise of a more melancholic, introspective style, a stark contrast to the idealized and religious-themed art of the previous era. In its wake, the Black Plague left a changed world. It was a time of great suffering, but also a time of transformation. It forced society to adapt and evolve in ways that had lasting impacts. The Black Plague, in all its terror, forever altered the course of human history. And thus we come to the end of our historical journey, a tumultuous period that tested the resilience of humanity. We've traversed the harrowing era of the Black Plague, from its chilling arrival in 1347 to its gradual decline in 1348. We've seen its dramatic spread, the profound impact it had on society, and the profound changes it brought in its wake. The Black Plague serves as a stark reminder of the devastating power of disease and the importance of understanding our past to better navigate our future. Our history is a rich tapestry, woven with threads of triumph, tragedy, innovation, and resilience. It's through understanding these threads that we can better appreciate our present and anticipate our future. If you enjoyed this journey through time, do hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future expeditions into history. Until next time, keep exploring. Next time, keep